Welcome to Dad's Talk. I'm your host, Dwayne Moore. We're a nonprofit called Dads for Daughters. We're a show based on bringing dads and fathers together to talk about raising their daughters, giving you tips, tricks, experiences, and showing you that being a girl dad is more than just a cool hashtag. The nonprofit was founded based off of my daughter, Gabrielle Moore, and myself, Dwayne Moore, and just building a relationship with each other and then sharing my experiences with my brothers and other men on our experiences with raising her. It was founded 2 years ago, and since then we've been growing. It started out with just 2 or 3 of us, but now we're growing to a lot of members. If you're interested in this, you can find out information on ccscenter30.com. We're a branch of a nonprofit that's here for the community. Today I have 2 of my brothers with me that are guests. I have Kevin Lyde, and I have Mr. Kenny Boyette also as well as guests. And we're going to go over a few topics with you all today just to bring you into our world of being a girl dad. But I'll start with Kevin today. Since we go way back, back to as teenagers, it's just funny to watch us as teenagers running around wild, and now we're supposed to be these mature, older men raising daughters in this different type of world than we grew up in. So, tell me a little bit about your mentality when you first became a girl dad.
Well, when I first became a girl dad, it was a tough situation for me. Because I was still outside, still reckless, still running around crazy. But I had to figure out that I have a daughter now, so I don't want the same things I'm doing to these women to happen to my child. So I had to slow my pace down a little bit.
Just a little bit? I mean, so do you think it was different if you would have had a boy?
Yeah, it'd have been way different.
So mentally, what do you thought it'd have been different having a boy instead of a girl? Like, would you still have been out there a little bit, still running wild a little bit? Or was it because you had a girl that you're thinking, maybe I just need to change some things up?
Since I had a girl, it made me slow down. Like, I need to change some things, do things the right way so they know how to be treated the right way. Show example how they should be treated and men should treat them. So I had to slow down a lot.
You have 2 daughters, right?
I have 3.
3 daughters, I'm sorry. So you have 3 daughters. So in the midst of the different ones, and then the different age groups and the different times, did you find yourself doing different things with them? Like, what would you share with some of the people that say, when I had my first one, my mentality was this to raise her versus the third one, with the different times in society that say, I raised this one different than the other one?
So with my first child, I really didn't know what I was doing. It was new to me. Didn't really understand everything about being there. I was still playing basketball, so I wasn't around a lot. So she got the short end of the stick because I was always gone traveling, playing basketball. I'll send money financially, but it wasn't my time. My middle daughter got the most time because she ended up coming to stay with me. My youngest daughter, I learned everything the first 2 daughters, so the transition for the third daughter is smoothest. I know what to expect, I know what to do, I know what they need, and vice versa.
So with those different times that each one got, the different feelings, did you notice that one daughter may have resented you or the other daughter in any different way or treat each other differently? Or how does their relationship different that way?
So with my daughters, the crazy thing about it, that brought them closer together because it made them rely on each other more. Dad is gone, so if you need your big sister, call me, stuff like that. So my absence made them grow tighter, to be honest.
So they was tighter with each other?
Yes.
But how were they towards you? Did one resent because I got more time from him, that I'm upset because you spent more time with her than you did with me? How was their mentality towards you?
Well, I don't think they resented it. I just think the understanding was different. Like my oldest daughter knew what I was doing. And granted, she might not like it, but she knew what I was doing to help out the longevity of it.
Right.
The middle child, she's just happy to be, just happy to be alone. Like, she didn't experience some things, so she's just happy to be around her dad all the time. So with the things she's been through, she don't like me leaving. So she's scared to leave my side or do anything because certain situation. My youngest daughter paid me no never mind. She's into video games and texting, and she got that, she's fine.
So she's the new age one.
Yeah,
as long as she got technology, she don't care what's going on. So, but how did it affect you though? Knowing, is there like any regret, or sometimes you think to yourself, I wish I'd have done this more, I wish I'd done that more, balanced this and that. How did it affect you? Because again, you're sacrificing and you're chasing your basketball dream. But So when you're out there, you know you're doing this for her, but then she's also maybe getting the short end of the stick somehow because you're not there.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't regret it because it made me the person I am today. Them life lessons. Like, do I wish I could give her more time? I sure do.
Right.
Like, I wish I could have took on the road and stuff like that, but it didn't happen. But it made me the person I am today to make me a better grandfather. My oldest daughter have a daughter now, so I'm a granddad to a granddaughter. So
Okay.
I make up the time, try to figure out how to be better as I go along.
Gotcha. Now, Ken,
Yes, sir.
while we got you sitting here, you know, we know your situation is a little different, and that's the whole point of dads. Is all our situations are different, so we're sharing with each other, we're growing with each other. Tell me a little bit about your background with becoming a girl dad and the different situation that you're in of being a girl dad.
So I had a daughter when I was 25, coming out of college. And then I also got married, and my wife had 2 daughters also. So I'm a girl dad of three girls, 3 wonderful girls. That transition does take some time, take some patience.
Right.
I remember when we first moved into the house, my youngest daughter, she was scared to sleep by herself. She was knocking on the door every night. So, you know, what ended up happening is that we had to, sleep on the floor. I ended up sleeping on the floor in her room just to get her to stay in her room, just to get her to feel comfortable. So that, you know, that transition was a little bit easier for her.
Right.
You know, I just believe in, you know, I tell my kids, I tell all my kids, you know, we just plants, right? I make the analogy of people being like plants. If we just give them the water and get out the way, they're going to grow.
Right.
So that's what I try to do, give them the water that they need, give them the sunlight that they need, and get out the way.
I mean, that's an interesting thought about it, and like to share with that, because like I have my personal questions as far as like, how do you start building that trust? Because with them being your stepkids and with being little girls, it can be like real private times, whatever, or hard to build that relationship versus their biological father, but now you're the new father. You may become tighter with them than the biological father. How does that process begin? What was the obstacles, or did you hit any roadblocks in the midst of that?
It's just it just takes consistency, you know, just
Right.
time. Everything is not going to be there, you know. First off, I mean, they've been with mom for so long, and my wife's done a great job laying the foundation. So it's just, you know, reinforcing the things that she's put into them, as well as, you know, adding whatever I can add to that mix. With trust, like I said, with consistency and time, it equals up trust.
Right.
And just being there for, you know, all the school events, being there for all the little events,
Right.
and doing stuff that's unexpected. Like I would teach my daughter and my son origami, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody really thinks about origami, but it's something fun to do.
That's different.
Yeah. So, you know, just take their minds off of things, and you know, it's stuff that anybody can do. But it's just having that time to be able to touch them, talk to them, look them in their eyes, you know, and bring them into your world. Let them do what I do. You know,
Right.
I love watching soccer. We watch soccer together. You know, so you know, it's a respect thing as well, because they're people, right? So they function well enough before I was here. So it's not like I'm here to add to them. I'm not here to change them, right?
Right.
So I'm here to add to them and help them, you know, shape and grow and be the person that they the best that they can be.
So like I asked Kevin, but the difference in one's your biological, one's not. I mean, the other ones aren't. So is there any resentment or mentally attitudes between the two different families, and how do they feel about your relationship with the ones that's in the marriage family that's not, as a time spent balance? How does that work out? How do you work that? I mean, because I would imagine a lot of people run into that same situation, and they need, you know, your perspective on it.
On paper, it is, you know, biological versus non-biological, but mentally, I don't approach it that way. You know, I approach it, you know, these are my kids, and all these kids need love. So I just try to do whatever I could do. I think that everybody comes together. I mean, we're all a good family, we're all a tight family, and, you know, it's us first. It's
Right.
in the house first, then outside the house. So, you know, just working with that. You know, and it does take, you know, like I said, some work and patience and effort. But all the effort that you put into it is going to be what you get out of it. So it's worth the effort, right?
Right. And so, is there a huge age gap? Like with his, he has basically three different generations of different ones.
Yeah.
How do you approach that the same way he did, as far as saying, what was the mentality, or the world was different with the oldest one versus the youngest one? Do you change your parenting skills? Do you have more leeway? Do you say, I learned from this first two to say, I'm not going to do this with this one? How do y'all do that? Because I only have one. So, and my daughter's grown now, so I'm kind of out of the new stuff or what the kids are into and all that type of stuff. I don't think I'm out the woods, because I tell people, like, when they were young, we had one worry. And like, I see people have kids and they're like, man, I'm not gonna sleep. I said, well, you'll never sleep again. Like, rest and sleep. I'm always thinking about my daughter. I'm always worried about her. Everything is geared towards her. But I don't know what I would do if I had a younger one now, the way the world is now and the way parenting skills are, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. Like, are y'all allowed to beat your kids now?
I mean, they're your kids, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. You don't look what. But like Kevin was saying, sometimes you do it as you go along.
Right.
Times are gonna change. You're gonna have to change. Like, we're not back in the 50s or the 60s or nothing like that. So they had to change too. Kids got tablets nowadays. They got access to all the information in the world. We had encyclopedias, right?
Right.
So things change. And we got to change with that. We got to be flexible enough with that to change with them, and as their world, right? Our daughters had tablets and cell phones at 6. We had to be teenagers to have our own phone line, right? And have a job.
Right. It was excited when you got that extra line on your phone.
Exactly.
But so Kevin, let's go back to this, the sacrificing things that you did or whatever else. Like, so I know one of your daughters actually played the same sport you played. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's your twin on the court, right? Mm-hmm. So bringing her up in that, what was the mentality like? Did you push her towards basketball? Did she naturally take towards it because of what you did? Did she want to be like you, or how did that play out?
So to be honest with you, her mother played basketball as well.
Right.
So her mother played at a high level as well. So it's just, it was in her blood. I don't think that was her path. She chose her path. She played volleyball. She played basketball. She chose her path. And, it worked out the best way forward. Like, she actually went to the tournament, played in the tournament, played.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, played volleyball for 2 years out of college, played basketball. Like, she went her path. That's the thing you said, like, you got to let kids figure out their way. So my thing is just to guide her and let her know, I'm with you whatever way you choose.
Now, on that path though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since both of y'all played at a high level, how was that with today's world of trainers and playing basketball, and were you hard on it? Because you see the game totally different than this.
So one thing I gotta be honest, it was her mother's harder on her about the sports than me.
Right.
Me, I'm just fine with her playing. Her mother wants her to be the best at her, so her mother's on her back about everything about that.
Right.
So.
But I mean, like, going to games, like, since like you've been there where folks are yelling at you, like, do you yell at her during games, or do you just let her play?
No, I let her play, and then I tell her how I feel after the game. I pull her to the side after the game and tell her, you could have did this, you should have did this. This is what you could do better. X, Y, Z. I'm not gonna scream at her at the game. I'm gonna let her play a game. I don't want to distract her, making her think she got to play for me. She's playing for herself. So I sit back and I tell her after the game.
Gotcha. I mean, that's different because, today's world, I guess, like how you say, her mother, everyone wants their child to be at a certain level or play a certain way or whatever else. It would be hard for me to sit back and, like, I think I'd still be a yeller.
See, I'm not a yeller at all, period. So that's just not my forte.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a guy I watch and criticize in my head. After the game, we have a conversation. So you could tell me, we can go back and forth about why you did this or why you didn't do that. Her mother's a yeller. Her mother's gonna get on her. She should have did this. She should have did that. She don't need that from both of us. So,
see, my daughter lucked up because so she wanted to play basketball early on. She tried the different sports. I did basketball. I did boxing. I put her in everything. But her mother's a musician, singer, so she ended up taking up singing and playing as well. So the one thing I did do was she plays the trumpet, right? So when she first came home in like 4th grade, and they had to choose an instrument. I told her, she's looked at the violin, she looked at all the different instruments and was like, I want to play this, I want to play that. And I told her no. And everybody's like, why'd you tell her no? I was like, well, we're going to play the trumpet. And she was like, I'll do what you say because I trust you at that time. Because, again, she's a kid. She didn't really have much choice. She's going to do whatever I'm going to pay for. So, but I wanted her to play the trumpet because with the tablet. We go to the computer and I say, look up female trumpet players. Not too many came up. My second question to her was, type in black female trumpet players. I said, that's your gimmick. Because in today's world, you can be good at something, but now you have to find your lane, right? So my thing was to her was, if you ever become really good at this thing, you'll automatically stand out because you'll be one of the few girls who actually do this. So now she's on full scholarship playing trumpet, but 16, 17 years later, whatever it is, she has a full scholarship playing the trumpet, and she loves it. But my thing was, that made it easier for me because I don't know music at all. I was just forward saying, you can play the trumpet. So when she's not playing well or she's in the house practicing, her mother, they laughing because she's like, did you hear how difficult that thing was? And I'm like, I just hear sound coming out. They'll say the language and this was on bar and this was on platform. Again, I have no clue. So they just laugh at me in that aspect or whatever else. So, I mean, that situation with you in basketball is different. And you know, like what areas are your daughters in that you push them and give them advice, or you like me where it's just like that's what they do their thing and you just give the support of being the father?
Well, my daughter tried track, and you know, like little kids they're going to try a bunch of different things. It's like a buffet, right? You put stuff out in front of them. Whatever you want to try, you can try. You know, and whatever you're trying, we're going to make sure we're going to reinforce an attitude of trying to complete it, right? My daughter tried track for the first time. She ended up unfortunately getting hurt, but she gave it a good go. You know, and that's with everything. You know, not everybody's going to make it professional in sports, but everybody has the ability to do something, right? So it's just a mentality. You're going to approach whatever it is you do in life the same approach that you have. I played sports in high school. I didn't make it to college. I didn't make it to pros, and that's fine. But I bring the same mentality and discipline to whatever else is that I'm doing that I'd had in sports, you know.
Right.
And we had that mentality where we would go out and we would, shoot free throws or shoot jumpers by ourselves, And that's how they got to practice by themselves. I let them know every time that you're not practicing, somebody else is practicing. So whatever it is you want to do, you just got to get better at it.
Right.
So my daughter played trumpet. My eldest daughter, she was playing. She was actually dancing. Well, she was in college when COVID hit. When we actually moved it, when we actually got married and blended the family.
Right.
So it wasn't too much opportunity to go outside and do things, which was particularly tough for her because she had a whole life. She was at college and she had to come off campus, come back home into just a room.
Right.
And be around this family atmosphere where she was comfortable in college. So I mean, just different things. Times make different solutions.
Yeah.
But just the love there, just the support there, and let them know everything's gonna be okay. Long term, everything's gonna be okay. Right now, the shit might be a little rocky. Things might be a little different. You might not understand everything, but long term, trusting your parents, trusting your mom, trusting your dad, we got you.
I'm actually glad you brought up COVID, right? Yeah. So I've been interested in this from the perspective of, was it just my daughter, right? So the whole COVID era, we all had kids that came up through COVID, and my personal opinion, I think it really affected them socially, as well as the social media era, right? So like my daughter was in, I think, going to the 8th grade. So they were out of school for 3 years, right? So I think socially, some of the things we went through, on how to adapt to your friends, how to adapt to situations, they were homeschooled. So they were away from other kids, other situations, stressful situations, how to make friends, how to be upset with your friends and come back and be friends. And then the social media thing. So like another example, right? I'll be out with my daughter and we're walking and she'll just see somebody randomly out in the crowd and she's like, oh, that's one of my friends. I'm like, well, she's like, no, I know her from offline. I'm like, well, you don't know her. But again, that's how they go now. She'll be like, this girl commented on one of my other friends' posts, so we're friends. I'm like, y'all aren't really friends. So y'all experiencing some of the same things as I'm with my daughter, or just I'm out on the island by myself?
Nah, I've been there. My daughter did classes in her room for 3 years on a computer.
Yeah, it was.
So it was tough not knowing how to interact with people.
Right.
Then going back into the school building trying to figure out what's what, how to do what. So COVID was tough for them.
Yeah, and being girls like that, I mean, I don't want to stereotype, but they're emotional anyway.
Yeah.
So I think they became way more emotional because they didn't have to deal with those stressors that typically you do going through those, especially like say my daughter that time, 8th through 11th grade, I think it's like pivotal for like growth. You know what I mean? So I think at that point, I don't think she really got to take advantage of like in the past, people, or boys or girls that go through those situations as teenagers, I think it, as a whole, it stunted some of these kids' growth.
Well, I give all these kids a bunch of credit, right? I applaud them because there's been no other kids in history to go to school through COVID online, right? We didn't have to do it. We had recess, we can go outside. We, if we had a bad day or whatever, we had time to go out and blow off steam.
Right.
Ride, jumping, play on the monkey bars or whatever. Go outside and play basketball. These kids couldn't do any of that stuff.
Right.
So I applaud them for being able to make it through that situation and persevere through that. My eldest daughter, like I was telling you, she was in college. She was at Towson, and her whole social network was shrunken overnight with this COVID thing. So it's like the transition between I can go out and hang out with my friends, and we can go to wherever, versus coming back home being online, and then all of a sudden you see everybody through a screen, right? So you don't get that human interaction, that human connection. But it's just very different, But I think that these kids, like I said, I applaud these kids for being able to go through school and go through math class, history class, and still achieve while during this COVID period.
So during COVID, that's when the situation I had with my middle daughter. Right. So that gave us more time to grow and get to know each other. So by the time COVID was over, we got back out the house. Me and her were so tight because we was around each other all day, every day. Yeah. Right. She understood where I was coming from, what type of father I was, how to deal with. I learned how to deal with her. She learned how to deal with me. Cause like I said, we was together all day, every day.
So to touch on some of that, I mean, if you don't mind, I would like to dig into some of that. I mean, because you want to talk about it, it's fine. If we get too weeds with it, we can stop whatever. But I noticed you said the situation with your middle daughter, and give us some background on what happened and in that situation, because you started out, she was not living with you, correct?
Right.
All right. So then, talk me through it.
So, 13 years old, my daughter mother called me and say, they're checking me into a hospital. Can you get your daughter for tonight? Normally, I'm gonna be honest, I was a weekend dad. I did the weekends. Week was with her mother, weekends with me. This weekend she was supposed to be with her mother. So she said, can you get her and I'll get her tomorrow? I had no problem. Me and her mother cool. I pick her up from school. I got her. She with me. We get to my house. My daughter's calling her mother all night long, no answer. No answer whatsoever. I said, well, she went to the doctors. They kept her. They run a test. She probably got her child. She'll call you tomorrow. Just go to sleep and we'll figure it out. Tomorrow comes, still no answer. So now it's like 4 o'clock in the evening. It's not like my daughter mother not to call my child. So now I'm like, I call, she's in a relationship, I call her fiance. Like, what they doing? Her daughter mother named Tawana. Like, what are they doing with Tawana? Like, well, she's still at the hospital. I said, well, she ain't called my daughter. He like, well, I ain't talked to her either. So I said, what hospital is she in? She told me the hospital. So I told my daughter, get your stuff. We can go up there, just go check on your mother. When we get to the hospital, they say, we couldn't get in touch with nobody. Her mother's on life support.
Wow.
Her mother, all her organs shut down. Like, she went to the hospital, drove herself, got there, organs shut down. So now she's on life support. So now my daughter's with me, take her in to see her mother. Like, we're gonna do some stuff, see if she can get herself to go on. Another day go by where she's showing signs of improvement. So we like, okay, cool. Go back home. The next day they call, like, you probably need to get here and say your goodbyes. So now I don't know what to do. My daughter, I don't know what to tell my daughter, so I took her up there. Like, go see your mother. She see her mother. She don't understand what's going on. I take her to her room, have a conversation with her what's going on. She breaks down, and after that, her mother left us. So now I'm a weekend dad to a full-time dad. So now she's moving in with me, and I don't have a clue how to do anything. I never registered for school. I never did school shop. I never did any of that. So I ain't have no idea. So Wayne is my daughter godfather. So it's many times I call him like, many times I call him like, help me out, because I didn't have a clue what to do.
Because I remember the day getting the call, and I'm riding home from work, and I answered the phone, and you was like, I just need you to pray. And I'm like, you my man, no problem. If you need prayer, we praying. But then when you told me, I mean, and I've known, so her name's Tawana, but I used to call her Lord, she was from New Jersey. She's probably like 5 feet tall. So I always called her Lord Jersey. So at that moment, I'm driving, I'm almost crashing because it's hitting me like a ton of brooks too. You usually get a call to say pray, and he's telling me the situation. So it was tough. It was a really tough time. Like I say, his daughter's my goddaughter. His daughter, my daughter, like I said, we Chuck E. Cheese, all that as little kids, just to see her going through that. So, I mean, it's times where she may come out of the house just to talk or just, you know, anything that she needs, but it was still really rough at that time. But, so really quick, like you said, you went from weekend dad to home dad, like, but it was during COVID. Yeah. So the whole COVID situation actually helped.
Yeah, but it's still the hardest job I ever had. Like, I played basketball in front of 15, 20,000 people. This was the hardest job I had because I went from playing good cop, bad cop with her mom. She played good cop on the bad cop, vice versa, to being both cops. So now I got to be understanding. So now I got to have conversations about the little boys that I didn't get to have because her mother was here. She talked to her mother about. So now when she tell me about stuff, I can't jump off the deep end because she's not going to tell me nothing no more. Right. So now I got to take it in and get myself together and have real conversations with my child. So that's what I ended up doing. I started listening more, trying not to judge and say stuff, jump off deep end. And with me doing that, she opened up more. So my daughters, honestly, we have real conversations. Yeah. Like, I tell them the truth. I let them experience. My mother let me experience the world. By certain things, I let them experience. I just try to tell them the right way. I am the dad to say I told you so. If I tell you something and it goes like I said. Yeah. So they understand who they dealing with. They understand their father. So,
but fellas, I appreciate y'all just touching on a couple topics of today. I mean, we can go on and on like we do in our meetings where, you know, we can be there forever talking. But again, I appreciate you fellas for sharing some of your world, sharing some of your lives and experience. We definitely got to come back and do this again, touch on a few other things like dating and everything else and the stresses that we go through. But again, this is our episode of Dads Today. Appreciate you all tuning in. Look out for the next episode to get more information from us.